Ready to transform your tennis forehand into a confident, reliable weapon? Let's dive right into your new 5-day training program that will make it a reality, but only if you follow along and put in the reps. Day 2 is focused completely on training solid footwork patterns so that you can move around the baseline smoothly and calmly no matter what the situation. The first drill Kevin is demonstrating is a simple execution of the split step, right foot pivot, and unit turn of his upper body. This sets you up with a solid, strong base to both move from and swing from once the ball arrives. I know it can feel corny to practice the split step in a shadow swing, but the truth is, hardly any amateur tennis players use one, and it's a critical part of good tennis movement. After a few shadow swings to make sure execution is super high quality, Kevin drops some practice balls. When you do this drill, be sure that you're taking the racket back with your body, as Kevin is showing, instead of the other way around, which is a hugely common mistake. Next, Kevin is going to practice setting up in a strong unit turn, making a smooth shadow swing at an imaginary ball just outside of his initial setup, and then gather himself calmly to shuffle laterally back to the middle of the baseline. If you're not used to using an open stance, then this can feel really foreign, so let me walk you through it quickly. As you swing, you'll want to drive up and out towards the ball with your right foot. After contact, you'll touch down with your left foot, and then plant your right foot to stop your momentum. That leaves you right back in a ready position so you can shuffle back to the middle. Becoming comfortable with this footwork pattern is critical to using the open stance and having the ability to hit powerful shots from wide positions on the baseline. After 5 or 10 minutes of open stance swing and recovery, Kevin is going to transition to practicing his forward movement into a square stance swing. Watch how he makes his unit turns, steps forward onto his left foot, and then swings while actively transferring his momentum forward. To help facilitate that, he's pivoting around to allow his body to turn through the shot, catching his momentum on his right foot, and then shuffling back to the middle of the baseline. If the pivot through your swing feels weird at first, feel free to segment it. If you don't train efficient movement patterns like this ahead of time, then the tendency is to reach and lunge for short balls, which completely takes away your ability to take advantage of them. Speaking of training, if you want to make the most out of your next practice session, make sure to download a copy of our free Forehand worksheet so you can have a step-by-step guide to these drills on your phone or tablet. Simply click the link in the description or go to 5dayforehand.com. Now on to drill 4, which features Kevin practicing his lateral movement out across the baseline for a wide ball. These are all the same moves that we used in drill 2, but now he's having to move out several steps before making his swing. You'll notice that he's hitting with an open stance, which is extremely advantageous for wide shots because it allows him to load his body powerfully, which is what a huge percentage of amateur players do when hitting on the run. As a result, he's able to smoothly catch his balance in a wide stance and then quickly recover back to the middle of the baseline by starting with a crossover step and then transitioning to shuffles. This is the Cadillac of baseline movement patterns. Train it well, and your forehand results will improve. Next, you'll see Kevin train a footwork pattern for transitioning his weight into the court to use in a point situation where he has the time to do so. Instead of hitting with his momentum carrying himself out wide to his right, he's transferring forward with more of a square stance and pivoting through with the same pattern that he practiced in drill 3. The result is catching his momentum inside of the court on his right foot and then crossing over and finishing his recovery with a shuffle. There are ways of approaching this with an open stance as well, but I wanted to be sure and give those of you who are more comfortable with stepping forward a solid pattern to model. Just out of curiosity, which stance do you generally prefer to hit from? More of an open stance or a closed stance? Let me know in the comments down below. Drill 6 features a more defensive footwork pattern, which hardly any amateur players train, but it's critical to your success on the baseline. After his split step, Kevin is now pivoting back onto his right foot to set his stance in a position where he can athletically move back for a deep ball. This is as opposed to leading with his heels, which is slow and also leaves his body in a weak position to hit. After the pivot, he's crossing over with his left leg like a quarterback going back for a pass. And then he's loading and rotating around his right leg for the swing. After contact, you'll want to catch your balance on both feet and then recover back to the middle of the baseline. Definitely feel free to segment this at first, as it's pretty foreign to most players and pretty dynamic as well. Next, Kevin is going to practice responding to a ball that's landing well short of the baseline that he has an opportunity to attack on. After making his unit turn, you'll see him use two different footwork patterns to move forward. One is a crossover step with his right foot, and the other is a smooth shuffle step. Both lead him into a square stance swing that transfers his momentum through the point of contact and then into a forward pivot that allows his body to turn powerfully. After the swing, he's crossing over with his right foot to quickly recover for the next shot. Of course, you could also choose to follow this shot forward to the net and use it as an approach. It's totally up to you. Go ahead and click the videos to move forward or back in this 5-day training series. If the next day isn't available yet, be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you can catch it as soon as it goes live. Thanks for watching.